Hello, 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 everybody. I hope my mic's on. Yeah, it seems like it is. And we're back finally. Finally. Hey, everybody. Gonna get some invites started here and some shares going so people know we're on live in a few days. So,
Hey there. Can you hear me? Tracy, can you hear me?
there's Eileen.
I don't think anybody can hear me. Oh, you can hear me.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I'm not hearing anything.
I can hear
What the
you.
heck?
I can hear you, Sally.
Okay, I didn't think anybody could hear me.
Oh, why is this always happening?
But she can't hear for
Thank you,
some
guys.
reason.
Yeah. Thanks, Tracy. Thank you, Lily. Tim's here too. At least he's in the. Oh, she can't hear me.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure everybody could hear me or not.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
good. We're all set. Hi, Tim.
Hopefully, I didn't move the screen too much. Trying to do
No,
all
it's
that.
fine.
God, we hadn't done this in so long, I may not be at know how.
You'll
It
Who
has
you know,
been.
you know?
It's
Brain
been a
cells don't
minute.
work as good.
Has it been a week?
Almost. Feels like it.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting this onto the TV tonight. My monitor went out.
All right. I
Yeah.
mean, that's not good. I'm being facetious, but at
When
least
it
we have.
rains, it pours.
Yeah.
I've ordered another one. It should be yours. It's with New Year's. I'm not sure how that's going to go with the shipping, but as
Yeah.
soon as it gets here, I'll be able to switch back. But
I
hopefully, y'all
ordered
can.
something on Amazon this morning and I just got it. It came in one day.
Wow, you're
Yeah.
lucky.
It wasn't a computer, but something simple. But still, it's nice to get something in a day.
Yes, it is.
Hmm.
Very nice. Well, how's everybody doing today?
Good.
Okay. You?
Oh, pretty good. I've been busy. I did laundry and all that kind of junk today. Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Hey, Lily.
I did that yesterday and today. I probably did 8 loads of laundry.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Hopefully,
had a
we'll have
lot.
people. That's the only thing I hated about being down so long is I was afraid people wouldn't show back up.
Yeah. There's Luke. And
I'm gonna
Mark.
share it with a bunch of people.
Hi, Luke. How you doing? If Jesus was practicing Jewish man, why are we Christian? Actually, Luke, we believe that there are two Jesuses. The one called the Christ and the one called Bar Abba. And that one of them was Jewish and the other one was from a world above, was not from here. If you want to come up and chat, you're welcome to.
No, we don't believe in the Holy Trinity. That's the Catholic Church teaching. Do you want to come up on the panel? That's what our live is about tonight, is answering questions. If you do, I can invite you up. I didn't mean to cut you off, artist.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Are Catholics Christian? Both Catholics and Christians believe in the false Jesus. Our beliefs are that there are two Jesuses in the New Testament, and the Catholics and the Christians are both following the wrong one. That's the grand deception that we're teaching about.
Hey, Marie. Hi, Shannon. Hey, Tracy.
We on this group and everyone on the panel, we are not Christians. We believe in the teachings of our Father, Jesus Barabba, but the Christians are the ones that follow the Christ, who's the false impersonator. Hey, Shannon.
Hey guys,
Hey, Tim.
sorry, got caught like at the wrong time, but I'm here though.
That's okay. Good to hear your voice.
It's been
Been
a
a week.
while since, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
about
it's
to
been
say
a
since we
week.
heard each other's voice in general. Well, we did have that one record phone call.
True. That's true.
Luke, it's not that we don't believe that the Bible is true. It's not our Father's book. It's the devil's book. You can find our Father in the book, but basically a synopsis of this channel is that we believe the God of the Old Testament, Yahweh, is the devil, and that there are two Jesuses in the New Testament. One is the Christ, and then the true Father is Jesus Barabba. And we use the Bible to show you that truth.
Yeah, that was a good video you put out, artist. I'm mad that I still have like probably like 20 more minutes of it I'm supposed to watch.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'm the community was starving for some kind of content from you, so.
I've been binge watching the videos. I went back to the oldest TikTok live and I've been watching them from the oldest to the newest. I figure I have 18 days off. I can I can go back and watch them again. It's been really good. We've really improved along the way.
That's the feedback I'm getting to from
Yeah.
others. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going back and listening to them too, Sally, and that's what I found for myself.
It's good to be able to go back and critique yourself a little bit. There's some things like I was listening to one today and I was like, I wanted to jump into it, I wanted to jump in and speak up more.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's good. When you talking to the TV, you know? Like a good scary movie. Oh, don't go in that room. Oh, he went. Oh, man, he crazy.
Shannon, do you want to come up?
He just said he had to do a couple things before it got dark, and he'd be on back in a minute. So he's probably with his RV, getting things together before it gets dark.
Okay. Elise, I don't know if you meant to hit request to come up, but you're up on the panel now. But I also see your pause. Do you have a question, Elise? Whoop. No, she's gone.
Damn.
Might have hit it by accident.
Yeah, she said, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You don't have to be sorry. You're welcome to come up, though, if you have any questions.
Speaking of questions,
Yeah.
should we go to the community post and because on there that's when the people were commenting on a video that got taken down.
I'm gonna help you with the questions tonight also. I'm on my laptop, and when I'm on my laptop on her channel, there's no community section that shows up. Oh wait, here it is. Never mind.
I'm about to say I just found it.
I just found it too. Sorry about that.
It's the one with 95 comments, right? Is that the one? Uh,
Where
I'll be able to tell if I have a comment on there. Hold on.
on the community page, what date are we on?
Go to the second video down. It looks like it says Q&A, but it's a different Q&A. And then if you hit the top, there's like a 3-button thing on the top. Hit that, and it'll also give you the latest or the newest questions.
So the one from 9 days ago, right?
Yeah.
I saw a comment this afternoon I replied on. It's like, so you only talk to those and reply to those that pay you money, right? I was like, what? Where did
Wow.
that come from?
Yeah, really. It's
I
more
was
like the other way around.
I'm
I
about to
was
say,
I was
yeah.
reading the comments today too on one of the videos that I was watching, and there were two people that kind of had a little bit of a dialogue going back and forth, and the one person kept saying, well, of course my comment got deleted, and just if anybody's listening, we don't delete anybody's comments. The only time we ever do that is if you're name calling or you're being nasty or, and we usually warn you first. But we don't delete any comments, so it must have been a topic that YouTube did not care for and probably deleted your comment. I mean, that was going back from about 3 months ago.
Yeah, I think I found it too. The one we're supposed to 69 comments. That's the one.
Yeah, that one. Yep. I'm on it too now.
Tracy's right. YouTube does delete comments because they've deleted mine before.
I've watched them delete mine in real time. Like I write something and I post it and then it's not even there.
Same here, Sally. Same here.
Yeah. Well, we don't have anybody coming up. Do we want to start on the questions, Tim?
Yep. Um, the first one. Now I won't. It's been a couple of days. I started from newest. That's what I did. So the first one is Ellen.
Yeah, that's where I'm too.
Okay. If you cannot, Ellen says, if you cannot access this video, and this is for everyone, go to Odyssey, Scriptural Truth. Go to Odyssey, Golanov Wire, Golanv Wire. It's the second video. That's for anyone that haven't watched it yet. But I'm pretty sure almost everyone watched it.
That was a pretty good video too. I hate that got rejected.
It was good. I went to
Yeah,
Oxford and
that's
watched
what I
it.
was talking about. It was really good. Some people even said they thought they were like, oh, you went back to this format. It was like it's not really a not really a format. You just wanted to put out a video, right?
Well, I think people like that format because they can see your screen better. I mean, that's the comments we get from. We're up on the panel, and if you're up on the panel, you can see her whole screen. And I know sometimes in the chat, people comment that they can't. So I think people like it when you make a video and put one out because they can see your whole screen a little bit better.
Yeah.
Try to
Anyway,
get that out of the chat box because it's going down in the chat.
Dorothy wrote, "Great live, everyone, and the rewatch was just as amazing. Great job. Thank you, Jesus. Y'all did so well with presenting truths in ways even a child could understand them. Sadly, sometimes these truths hurt so bad a person just can't get over their cognitive dissonance in a healthy way. Man, we've all been there. Keep on trucking. Love you all so much, sweet family."
Oh, that was nice.
That was very nice.
Thanks, Dorothy.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Our car, Rachel, our sister, said, hold on, did I miss one?
Nope.
No, okay. She said, Rock the color made me think of something else. If the fall changed human beings to the point that they were evicted from Eden, then maybe the bite of the apple was actually in addition to the DNA. In other words, maybe there was just one strand to our DNA instead of two. These two strands could be emblematic of the two fiery seraphs that kept Adam and Eve from entering the garden. I personally think that there are two creation stories in Genesis, one from our Father and one from Yahweh. Once Yahweh came on the scene, humankind fell for the temptation to be like God, sort of like Christ consciousness movement today. And when we are defiled by foreign matter, like that which was pushed in 2020, maybe it adds another block to our exit from this realm. If this is true and someone is reading this who took Maxine, please research pure Nato Kanase. It can help you. I love you all. I'll save my novels for the next one. I guess I kind of do want to, because she brought up the NATO to me as well, and during the research, artists, you remember when we were talking about certain clocks that you get um from Papa Pharma,
Yeah.
and how those clots are like they're not even it's not even made of blood basically, and they're not even well. Apparently, the NATO will heal that too, or reverse that as well for people who already you know uh, went to Papa Pharma. So
Okay.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
We might need to be careful even reading these questions because this
no,
video
no,
got banned, and I was just thinking about that as we start talking about some of this. We may not be able to talk about all of it.
yeah, definitely trying to choose my words super carefully. So, and
Yeah,
she did as well in the comments.
yeah, no, you she did.
So thank you for that, for that, Rachel. Is that? Let me make sure I didn't miss any question or anything. Uh,
I don't think that I think the true Genesis is John 1. I think Genesis is all Yahweh. That's just my opinion. I don't think our father's in Genesis because he said all that came before him were thieves and robbers. I think John 1. There are two different stories in Genesis 1, Genesis 2, but I don't think it's our father. That's my opinion. I think our true beginning is John 1.
yeah, I'm still up in the air about Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, but
I,
it definitely reads with two creation stories just off of face value. What were you about to say, artist?
I see it as being Yahweh because both of them are done in sixes. Everything was done in a 6 days, 6 days, and his number is 666.
Yeah.
So I kind of when I look at it, that's what I look at because nothing's done on the seventh day. It's all done in sixes.
And you have it. And it is suspicious. That and the my father rested, or when he said he rested on the seventh day, and then Jesus said, "My father never rested." I still have. There's still an issue with that as well. So, sorry, I'm just kind of waking up. So forgive me, my voice still sound
You want
like
me to
lower.
you want me to read the next one from
Yeah.
her?
Oh wait, did we the comments? I forgot about the comments, the replies.
Oh,
Oh wait, oh that one didn't have one. See, I'm going crazy. Yes, go ahead.
um, Rock also said there is a third strand of DNA that results from the slab. Matthew 24:44. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. I wonder if the Son of Man is something that was put together in a lab by men, humans, and when it is added to the Father's original human creation, it creates something new, aka the product that came from man, the Son of Man. I just think the Son of Man is James the Just or the Christ.
When she says rock, does she mean
She's talking about
Oh,
the caller,
oh,
the guy that was up on the I didn't remember his name.
yeah, that it's like that live is like almost like
It was a
like a
while
dream.
ago, so it's not as fresh in my mind anymore.
Yeah, and it was taken down, so it's like not like it was there for us to keep going back and see, even though it's on Odyssey.
But the replies, somebody said there are people out there that talk about the agenda to add the third strand. We know there was an attempt to alter it recently, and probably 80% agreed. Have you noticed some of the people look different if you haven't seen them in a while? I know it's crazy, but I keep pinching myself when I see someone who I hadn't seen in a year or two, and there's something different. The ones who got it that I'm around daily, I don't notice anything. I think we need to be careful about talking about this. Maybe I have an overactive imagination. I don't trust my perception. And then our car wrote, I haven't noticed physical differences, but I am on my own most of the time. However, I have noticed drastic personality changes when I talk to them on the phone. It's heartbreaking.
I've noticed that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you guys.
Yeah.
My dogs are barking.
I don't know if it's worth chancing talking about all this though. Really, to to be
I don't.
honest.
I don't know that we should read the questions on this one. I think we should go on to the one that you posted.
Yeah, maybe so. Because
I just.
I
It's
don't want this taken down.
no. It's not. And anytime we're talking about this kind of stuff, they're listening.
Oh yeah, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be watching me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, since you're already a troublemaker out there, they're gonna keep their eyes on you.
I mean, there's some on here that I don't think are dangerous. If you scroll down past, and we're sorry, our cards. Not that we don't want to read all your questions. We just don't want to get another strike. But if you scroll down, Nova Hall 5748 wrote, "Who was Jude and James then, if not Jesus' brother? What about the angel that came to Mary and Joseph?"
Oh, okay, I see it.
But
That's
that
Um,
just proves even further what we were saying because a monogene has no brothers and sisters.
right.
it says
Yeah, that's
if who you and James, then if not Jesus' brother, okay.
and
Did you put?
Aileen.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
They were Jesus called the Christ brothers. Baraba is a monogene. And then he wrote, Aelin, so the angel came to Mary and Joseph, Herod having the babies killed, the angel that came to the shepherd to tell them that the king has been born, them fleeing to Egypt, etc., was actually the false Jesus. Yes, that would be a yes. Then who sent this Jesus? Yahweh, Satan, to disrupt the very system he established? Whatever theory or opinion you may have must be proven by scripture. Thank you for your work.
I'm over here reading it slowly because I'm like understanding slow right now. I'm still waiting. Hold on. So this she saying who sent to Jesus what that had people unalived? Or where Herod unalived people because they were fleeing Egypt and stuff?
He
And
was
she's
saying that. He said that. Lynn didn't say
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Nova is saying that.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one that brings to mind the kingdom um dang it. The devil's kingdom is divided, Satan's kingdom.
Yeah.
That's what comes to mind when I first read that, but yes. So what do you guys think? Artists, do you think that's um Yahweh that sent that one that they're talking about? The one that people were unalived over? And I think so, because didn't the Old Testament bring up how people would be screaming or the children crying because of the coming of this one? Or like parents would be sad because their kids were unalive? Get out of here.
I think so, and it's like according to the internet, the Coptic sources say that there were 144,000 that were slaughtered in on December the 29th. But I think that happened in Rome, not in the Middle East.
Anyway, Jerusalem.
Are you guys still on the first video, or are you on the second one now?
No, we're on the first one. I just skipped past the questions that we're talking about, things that we think might not be okay to talk
Okay.
about. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, basically we skipped two of our cars. Sorry, Rachel. Let me see.
She's got another one there.
Yeah, I was about to say that. So I didn't read. Ellen said it's free. It seemed like it's his own individual comment. And she also said if you want to see this, you have to sign into Odyssey. So I was just kind of confused over that. But yeah, our car has one right here saying question. Do you think that there is a possibility that there is a connection between the virgin birth and the fallen angels who bore children with the daughters of man? If so, this could make JC a Nephilim. I've been wondering about the similarities between the stories of the angels going into the daughters of men and the virgin birth for about 4 years now. My thought process was, why does JC have a similar birth like the men of the renown? Additionally, this also could explain why. Hold on, here and read more. Explain why the barren folks, Sarah, the wife of Manoah, the woman of Shunem, Rebecca, Rachel, and Hannah, could suddenly have children. Maybe this is how the fallen race repopulated. Question number two. Well, I guess, okay, I'll read question number two as well. If this is the case, the John the Baptist would be a Nephilim too. That's pretty interesting. Also interesting is that if you go to Chronicles and trace the feast day time, you can count up to the time that JC was conceived. His conception, not birth, would have been in December. The majority of the world celebrates that time as the birth of the Savior, but really it would be the conception of a child between an angel and a human. So yeah, I'll read the replies too. Celine said, "This is fascinating and makes them hybrids. Do you think we are all hybrids at this point in history? If way back in the garden, Yahweh formed the Ishha from a DNA cell in a race of Adam, and then they begat Seth, then wouldn't we all be hybrids? I wish I knew." Of course, Golomar always reminds us she doesn't trust the Old Testament. Alin said, well, he probably is because his mother is human and his father is Yahweh. And Alin said that to Arkar. Arkar replied, I'm blown away that you said this because I was going to write something else, but then I got a phone call and forgot what it was. You just reminded me of what it was when you brought up the Ishasha. Ishasha. I was going to say that a while back, Nine Nadia did a video on the Ishasha, and when she did a mechanical translation of the scriptures, she determined that Adam was a race of people, not just men, but men and women. The Ishasha was a light technology that could transform into hybrids. I'm beginning to wonder now if we are seeing the new technology that sprang forth in 2020. If that is what was meant by bearing children with them, does that make sense? In other words, if the hokey pokey was a method of adding technology into people to make the folks who receive the full dose of the hokey pokey the offspring themselves, I can only elaborate so much on this platform. This would pull together 990 years translation and take it to another level of understanding. And to answer your question, we wouldn't be hybrids unless we had that technology in us. I do believe that there are hybrids among us, though. I hope this all made sense. She also said, I hope I'm not going overboard with this, but I'm not the best communicator, and I'm trying to get the point across. The hybrids would be Ishasha, not the Adamic species, human beings. I don't think everyone is contaminated. Rachel said to Ellen, exactly, and then Celine said, no, you aren't going overboard. I transcribed all of 990 years retranslated Genesis 1 through 3 because I finally felt like I understood better what I had been questioning regarding the beginning. It may not be the beginning, since that is likely John 1:1, but the beginning of our entrapment into slavery. I've also been thinking that too. Oh crap, hold on, I messed the screen up. Kitty, okay.
Well, when I analyze that in modern Hebrew, the creation of Adam is actually a computer. And the first computer was named the Atom, and it sold for $666.
Yeah, which brings some more interest to the whole technology thing.
And then they put the apple on there with the bite out of it.
Yeah.
The last thing she said was, I do think the hokey pokey was at least an attempt, and this is Celine still, was an attempt to cloak those willing into false light. Remember what one of the ingredients was. I don't know if I can say it, but it starts with the letter L and glows. It was light technology similar to a firefly. It all makes a little more sense. Thankfully, before I learned of all this about Yahweh and the two Jesuses, I saw what they were trying to do to us and didn't want any part of it. But yeah, I'm trying to go up to the main question again, trying to make sure there's nothing I didn't want to comment on, because to me, it does make sense that, JC being some sort of Nephilim, he does seem to be born some of the same ways that they were born, you know. So it does raise some questions for me, but I don't know much about it, you know. I'm about as far as what you wrote. What do you guys think about that? Or does you think he's a Nephilim or some form of it, man of renown?
Could be. I know that in modern Hebrew it's a abortionist or aborting ones, Nephilim.
Oh yeah, that's right. It does say
hmm
that.
So I don't know what it is in.
I don't know if you read the Genesis 6 conspiracy. In that book, though, it says that the mothers are the spirits inside of the mothers, the offspring, that a lot of them forced their birth to happen by, bursting out of their mother's stomach, basically. And a lot of them was not just the baby, but the mothers was unalive because of it. Kind of makes sense why they would call it the aborted ones as well.
I could say a lot more, but it'll get us axed off of here.
Yeah, crazy how these topics are like that. Um,
May have to be a
I,
video specific for Odyssey.
yeah, they're gonna do their best to censor us. Let me see. So the next one we're on is we could skip the Lynn one because she's just saying go to Odyssey as well.
Right.
There's some comments under that. Okay, yeah, that's just getting people there. So I guess the next one would be Nova Hall.
Yep. You want me to read it? You got it.
I'll read it real quick. Question: Peter said, "You are the Messiah, the Son of God." Later translation put Christ. Question: What's Mary real story? Is she the mother of Jesus Barabbas or the other Jesus? I say she's the mother of the other Jesus. I'm sure we all say that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ellen replied saying, Mary is the mother of the Christ. Jesus Barabbas is a monogene, single gene of the Father, has no siblings. Barabbas was not born, he was sent. Jesus Christ was born of a virgin and is part human and part whatever Yahweh is. Nova replied to Ellen saying, what about the cross? When Jesus told John, this is your mother now, why would Mary be there? And Mary has many interactions with the disciples. Ellen said, some of us think both Jesuses were on the cross. The Christ was given the hyssop, which is like an anesthesia, supposedly. Some believe Christ was the one in the tomb, but was taken out by the Roman establishment and never unalive. There is even some writings of him being seen years later and had a family with Mary Magdalene. Yeah, Jesus Barabbas said he will leave the same way he came. I think he could go in and out of dimensions. It's a lot to consider. I'm locked into nothing. It says the burial. Not sure what you meant by that, Ellen. But I'm absolutely locked into that
Locked
Barabbas.
into nothing as far as the burial goes. Like, I don't really know. It doesn't say, right? So I'm not locked into it.
Yeah, you said Barabbas was sent by the Father, and the Christ is an RCC creation for their agenda. I do think that Jesus was able to. I do think he went up. That tomb thing is kind of suspicious to me. You know, because I think Yahweh spoke about his being in the, being in the grave 3 days or something like that. But I think Jesus really did go straight back up. I can't. I don't know all the details. Obviously, it's a lot of trickery involved in it. Still, get down. But yeah, I think he went up, and there's some deception going on there. I'm pretty confused about it, but David loves history. Says the Father is spirit. When he ascends, you can't see him. Tracy said the tomb thing and resurrection is to align with the other pantheons. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. That it's some kind of deception.
Yeah. The rest of the comments on this video were just 4 or 5 people who said, "Oh, well, I was in the middle of watching the video and it got taken down." So,
Oh, really?
yeah, that's
If
the
that's
rest.
okay, let me see. I have some food in the oven. I'm always going back to go check.
So I think we can move on to the next video.
Yeah. I was in the middle of watching. I was in the middle of Yep. Yep. Okay. So let me X out of here. So now we're on why does God allow suffering? Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I thought I commented on the last one. That's this one I commented on. Here we go.
This was an important one to me because I think this is what makes a lot of people leave, you know?
Yeah, why the whole God allowed punishment? I'm
You're
in like
right.
a 5-day conversation with someone on Facebook about this. It's like, oh my goodness, it's very tiring. Y'all might hear my alarm go off too because I have a really weak smoke detector. I'm gonna go mute real quick.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Is there anybody that wants to come up before we go on reading? I guess not. Going once, going twice. Did Tim go get his food?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I'll start reading. The first comment is from Seek the Father. I think that is Shannon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for doing another YouTube video for us. So awesome. I know it takes longer than TikTok, but I so appreciate having all the info come from you along with your pages of info to take screenshots for my own files. I do enjoy TikTok, but it is also difficult to see the print. It's so small. I continue to pray for you. Beautiful going on.
Well, that's nice. I think that's the biggest complaint with everybody is that they can't read the text as well.
And then Carl.
I'm about to say I'm almost done. If you could do one or two more, and I'll
Okay.
be back.
No worries. Carl Cockwell wrote, "Now I finally understand why Artist doesn't respond to people here in the comments. I get it now. You have to subscribe to her and pay her to communicate with you." Give me a break, Carl. And there were 15 replies. Seek the Father said, "What? You do not have to pay her. She does not take any money. She is a beautiful, honest, intelligent woman. You obviously have not listened to many of her videos. She is very ill and spends all her time in research and putting the Father's truth out here for us to see. Sometimes the comments get deleted. Let's all do what Jesus came to teach us from the Father. Love one another and do not judge."
Yeah, we get Carl to make me a Patreon and see if he can just pay me, and I'll talk to him. No, I'm kidding.
I
That's
mean,
so
I
funny.
can't believe that I missed this question.
This was just a few hours ago. This Carl Cockwell, I mean, he was making comments, and we'll probably get to it, about you being Wiccan, and he was starting to be judgmental. And I said, "You better stop right there because I'm not going to tolerate you attacking her." He's like, "I don't understand. How could she come out of being Wiccan?" And I was like, "Because we all have a past, and she's talked about it, and Father pulled her out of it." So I think he's here to stir up a little bit of controversy. Do you want me to continue reading? Do we need to read all of his comments?
I don't think so.
I think we can just kind of go. I mean, yeah,
Don't give him a platform to
that's
be
why.
heard.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip all of those. And I'm going to move on down to Annie Lady Smith, who said, "Thank you. This was really good. Thank you for sharing your research." And then Arkar said, "I apologize for repeating this if you already said it, but Dia may also be in Judea."
I hadn't checked that one yet. I checked the Nicodemus one.
You posted about that in the Discord group.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. Our car is not in our Discord group, is she?
I wish she was. I don't know where she's at. Why she hadn't joined.
Yeah, our car.
We've been trying to get her to join.
You gotta
Let's
send
see.
me a link.
She'll probably get there. What's that, Tim?
If you guys send me a link, I can email her or I can send her your some use her email address.
I'm going to teach you how to do that when we're
Yes.
done here.
And then I was listening. That wasn't Carl Cockwell that was saying that stuff, was it? No way. We
Yes, it
prayed
was.
for Carl Cockwell. He asked us to pray for him.
It was him.
Oh man,
Wow.
read those.
We didn't read all of them. I read the first one, and we decided we didn't really need to give him a platform. So,
Carl, I'm calling for you, man. Come on. Of course she's not taking no money, and we prayed for you, brother. What's going on?
anyway, I'm going to read the next one while you're getting your food ready. SP Praying Mom 2021 says, I see suffering as snow, and Jesus is the light and salt helping us while we're all here until we are brought home to Jesus. May Jesus Barabba melt each snow flurry, blizzard, and storm as they develop, easing each one's suffering along the way until we are bathed in his eternal warmth in the place he prepared for us in eternity. Thank you for another in-depth study. That was nice.
Yeah, very nice.
We need SP Praying Mom to join us also.
SP Praying Mom not there yet?
Mm-mm.
Man. We moving slow with some of these guys, huh?
I didn't realize that Carl was the same one that asked for prayer too.
Yeah,
That's weird. Why would he do that?
Maybe he was frustrated. That's what I was getting when I was hearing it. I'm like, is he frustrated? You know?
Something's up. That ain't right.
Yeah, I just got back to my computer. Where are we?
We're at Casmege.
Wow, I can't believe that is Carl Cockwell. I'm just looking at it right now. You said we're at Casmege or Casmige. Hopefully you said it right. There was only one, or there was only the paymaster and the taskmaster. Only one is responsible for all. Alan said, "You make no sense," and artist said, "There is a choice. We all must make serve evil or good, and only Father in heaven is the world, and His world is good." I think you just meant to say we all must serve evil or good. I think you put "make" in there on accident.
Probably.
Yeah.
But he had a few choice cuss word there too. You didn't read that part, but
You did?
yeah, you probably had to open it up a hair.
It doesn't have a read more sign on it or nothing. Maybe he edited it and took it
He
away.
might have taken it out.
Right. So Denise's prose. Denise's prose. Hope I said that right too. Artists, you never go too long. This study has so much clarifying information. Thank you. So true on both. I'm just reading off a few because I know you had to read a couple because I was.
Go ahead. You're good.
Rachel said that 3429 they had theirs changed to Domas or Damas. I wonder if there is a connection to Nicodemus. And we got 7 replies here. Artist said interesting. And then you guys broke down the names. Hold on. Because y'all know I can't read that. Let's see. Break down the name. Thayer says it means conqueror of Latin origin. That it is from G3534 and G1218. Can y'all hear my cat like meowing super loud?
We can.
Okay, I'm trying my best. I think my cat's horny. Trying to go outside. She's staying next to the
Okay,
window.
Tim.
She's in heat then.
Yeah, she's in heat for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Nico means victory or to utterly vanquish. She's so loud. It's ridiculous. Demons breakdown. Demos means the their definition is the people, the mass of people assembled in a public place. They're strong from G1210. G1210 says to bind, tie, fasten, to bind, fasten with chains, to throw in the chains. Metaphorically, Satan is said to bind a woman bent together by means of a demon as his messenger, taking possession of the woman and preventing her from standing upright. To bind, put under obligation of the law, duty, etc. To be bound to one, a wife, a husband. To forbid, prohibit, declare, to be. And that's their strong a root. And going back to it being Latin or origin, and Dio in Latin is the Abrahamic name for God. Dio means, and what is Deus or Deus? Deus, letter case, God in the Abrahamic faith. If there's a nerd emerge I can put there, I will put it right there because that's what that's what we are right here. And that was tough to read. Our car replied, says, "Girl, you ran with that one. Touchdown." Rachel also said, "I see that G1218 word origin says from the Greek root dio, meaning to divide or to distribute. This makes me think of Benjamin the Wolf. I wonder if this connects to Paul the Wolf somehow. It could be wild to find out that Saul/Paul was Nicodemus. I'm going out on a tangent, probably." She also said, "Add scriptural truth. I don't want to take up all your time. So here's the last one for now." And then she said, in parentheses, proceeds to add 22 scriptures. But no, look at all these verses that use G1210. Matthew 12:29. Oh, hold on. Oh man, she gave a lot of verses. Okay. Matthew 12:29. Or how is anyone else able to enter into the house of the strong man and to plunder his goods unless first he binds the strong man, and then he will plunder his house? I see what you mean by the word binds right there, right? If that's the word. Matthew 13:30, allow both to grow together until the harvest, and in the time of the harvest I will say to the harvesters, first gather the weeds and bind them into bundles in order to burn them, then gather together the wheat into my barn. Matthew 14:3, for Herod, having seized John, bound him and put him in prison on account of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip. Matthew 16:19, I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heavens, and whatever you might bind on earth shall have been bound in the heavens, and whatever you might loose on earth shall have been loosened or loosed in the heavens. Matthew 18:18, truly I say to you, whatever you shall bind on earth shall have been bound in heaven, and whatever you shall loose on the earth shall have been loosed in heaven. Matthew 21:2, go into the village in front of you, and immediately you will find a donkey having been tied, and a colt with her. Having untied them, bring them to me. Matthew 22:13, then the king said to the servants, having bound his hands and feet, saying, cast him out into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Matthew 27:2, and having bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pilate the governor. We're about halfway there. All right. Mark 3:27. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I thought I missed one. Mark 3:27. But no one is able, having entered into the house of the strong man, to plunder his goods, unless first he binds the strong man, and then he will plunder his house. Mark 5:3-4. This man had been living in the tombs and could no longer be restrained, even with chains. Though he was often bound with chains and shackles, he had broken the chains and shattered the shackles. Now there was no one with the strength to subdue him. Mark 6:17. For Herod himself, having seized John and bound him in prison on account of Herodias, the wife of Philip, his brother, because he had married her. Mark 11:2, and says to them, go into the village before you, and immediately entering into it, you will find a colt having been tied, upon which no one of men has ever sat. Having untied it, also bring it. Hold on, I got a few more, y'all. Man, she's saying a lot of them. Well, more than a few, about 5, 6 more. Mark 15:1. And early in the morning, having formed a council, the chief priests with the elders and scribes and the whole council, having bound Jesus, led him away and delivered him to Pilate. Mark 15:7, and the one called Barabbas was there, having been bound with the rebels who had committed unalivement in the insurrection. Earlier we was talking about how Jesus went back up to heaven. I wonder if he did that around the time where they changed the clothes and put a blindfold on and all that stuff. Before or after, it doesn't matter. But I wonder if that's when it possibly happened. Anyway, I'll continue. Luke 13:16, and this being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has bound, behold, 18 years ought she not to be loosed from this bond on the day of the Sabbath. Luke 19:30, saying, go into the village ahead. I read that one like 3 times, I think. Yep. John 11:44, the one having been dead came forth, the feet and hands being bound with linen strips, and his face bound about with a sudarian. Jesus says to them, unbind him and allow him to go. I think they're talking about Lazarus there. John 18:12, and then the cohort and the commander and the officer of the Jews took hold of Jesus and bound him. John 18:24, then Annas sent him bound to the Caiaphas, the high priest. And John 19:40, then Ananias sent him bound. Oh, it says it again. Acts 9:2, and requested letters to the synagogues in Damascus, so that if he found any man or woman belonging to the way, he could bring them as prisoners to Jerusalem. Oh, one more. Well, 2 more comments. Celine says, so ironic that you posted all these verses with the word bind. I was looking at them this week trying to understand. You mentioned to bind something is big in witchcraft. It got me thinking about the things that have bound me and how it's important to break free. I can see multiple things in my life that were binding me. Jesus came to set the captives free. I'm not sure most realize what that means. And Arkar said, that's amazing timing. Father knows best. It does ring a bell when Jesus said he came to set us free, and all of those verses that has something to do with binding, especially when it has
Yep,
to do with the
sure
law of
does.
binding. Yep. So I love that. Great comment.
Yeah,
Even though it
very
was
good
not
comment.
long. Yep. I'm not reading my book tonight. I tell you that much. I'm just kidding. Love you, sister. I will let Sally do a couple while I stuff my face.
Okay.
Okay.
Wake Up People 1776, which is Bubble Boy, said, packed full of nuggets. Thank you for doing all the hard work, looking the stuff up. I enjoyed. And you said, thank you, Bubble Boy. We miss seeing your comments. And Faye said, hey there, Bubble Boy. And then at Arkar again said, the revealing of this knowledge makes the following that much more impactful. I know where you dwell, where Satan's throne is, and you hold fast my name and did not deny my faith, even in the days of Antipas, my witness, my faithful one, who was killed among you, where Satan dwells. Revelation 2:13. Doesn't Antipas mean against Father? And you wrote, read more, hang on. Antipas means like the Father.
That's what I keep telling about that anti word. Every time I see it that's a Thayer too that
Yeah,
that gave that.
it's confusing, you know.
Well,
It's
you got Antipater also, which was Herod's great grandfather, and it means like the father also.
and
You got
she
Antitheos too, means godlike in Greek. I
and
think they've been
antichrist.
reading that wrong on Antichrist.
Antichrist means Christ-like, then, right?
Yep,
We
yep.
talked about that, yeah. And then yeah, so she responded after you wrote Antipas equals like the Father. She wrote, "Whoops, I was looking at it from Aberam Publications. Wouldn't it be something if there was continuity in the translations? It's so frustrating sometimes. I'm more apt to believe Thayer than Abram, but just to show it, Abram had the following. Be sure to see the last remark about Jupiter. I was shocked to see the connection, meaning I was surprised they actually connected the word Pater to Jupiter. meaning instead of the Father, against everything. Related names: Antichrist, Antioch, Antiparis, Cleopas, Pamphila, Pantocrator, Jupiter, Petrobus, Sopater. Look, there is Pantocrator again.
Yeah, and Jupiter. That's crazy.
And Jupiter, yeah. Noval5748 said, yes, you went back to your old format. Love the video. And Artist, you said TikTok does not have as part of its platform to show the slides like I can this way. And NCLEEE1000 said this was excellent. Thank you, sis. You're getting a lot of compliments on this video, Artist. DNA TXX3TC wrote, so much is buried, Artist. You and the rest of us are the treasure hunters. You're a good father, Abba, and we are loved by you. Helps our huntings of finding your truth till the end.
It's amazing what all they've hid. It really is.
We have Carl Cockwell again. I've got to say, every time I watch these videos, it just tears me up here in the stuff I can't believe. Holiday have really manipulated these textbooks. There's one question I need to ask her that she goes by Artist. My mother, I'm going to skip all this. We've already addressed all that. Rabbit Hole 8592 said, I think it's Revelation 12:15. The dragon cast water out of its mouth like a flood. So the dragon is capable of making a flood. And you wrote the dragon is Yahweh 2, Samuel 22. And he wrote back, yep, one little I'm confused about, though. Yahweh describes himself in Hosea 13 as the beast of Revelation 13, lion, leopard, and bear, body of a leopard, feet of a bear, and mouth of a lion. The dragon gives him his throne and authority. So if Yahweh is the dragon, how is he also the first beast of Revelation? The beast and the dragon are Yahweh, Satan, one and the same? Question mark.
I think they are. Because of John's statement, when he said, he says it's also known as, the red dragon's also known as the Satan, and he lists off all of them. I think they're all one and the same.
We did a video on that not too long ago.
I think we covered that, yeah.
Yeah, about a month ago, maybe. I'm not sure exactly how long ago, but so Rabbit Hole, if you go back into our videos, there's I think it was a 2-part video, because that was one of the ones I've watched. It's probably older than a month. It's probably about 3 months ago, because I watched both of them. And we talk about, Artist does a presentation, and we've got 2 lives on this very topic. He says, and another thing, who was the Lord and who was the serpent in the Garden of Eden? The Lord lied and the serpent told the truth, but the devil is described as a serpent, and it seems Eve laid with the serpent, then laid with Adam, conceiving both of their children, twins, Cain and Abel. But when she had Cain, she said, I have been given a man from the Lord. And then she had Abel. The Lord cursed Adam, Eve, and the serpent. But God doesn't curse people, right? And Cain was from the Lord, but the Lord preferred Abel's animals offering over Cain's fruits vegetable offering. Cain killed Abel. The Lord put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. So there's 2 different seed lines, like Jacob and Esau. Cain isn't found in Adam's lineage. It's also confusing. Well, this is a really long. There's more. Jacob was a liar and a thief. What kind of honest, loving father encourages and rewards a liar and a thief, the father of all lies? Jacob means supplanter, one who wrongfully or illegally seizes and holds the place of another. Genesis 3:15, I will put enmity between thee and thy woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, Esau, and thou shalt bruise heel, Jacob. Jacob was holding Esau's heel. Esau was stepping on and kicking Jacob's head. Hello, and why haven't any of you two put two and two together? Well, we have. You just obviously haven't watched our videos. It's not out of context here either. It goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. It's a common narrative that we see from Genesis to Revelation. There's two seeds. Eve laid with someone, the serpent perhaps, ? And then she laid with Adam immediately after, tempted, seduced. A woman can have twins by two different men. Eve had Cain, a man from the Lord, immediately followed by Abel. They both gave an offering at the same time, which means they were the same age. The Lord preferred Abel's offering. Cain killed Abel. Cain is a man from the Lord, but Cain isn't in Adam's lineage. There's something very strange. Something doesn't add up. The doctrine of the serpent seed. So there's not really a question there, but I don't think he knows that the God of the Old Testament, Yahweh, the Lord, is the devil. So
Well, either that or he does, and he's just still confused.
it doesn't seem like he does, because I think he thinks the Lord is, our Father, when the Lord is just another name for Yahweh.
You might be right. I'm over here reading. I was like looking at the last comment and how I thought he was distinguishing between the Lord and the Most High.
I mean, in all of this scenario, it's all Yahweh, So
Yeah.
Cain and Abel are both of Yahweh. They're both in Adam and Eve are both of Yahweh. So everything before Jesus is all of Yahweh.
Sorry, I had to do the puzzle piece, so I probably made everybody dizzy for a second, spinning that thing around.
You have anything to add to that, artist?
No,
Cool. I'll get Kelly's real quick. I'm almost done eating.
You want me to read? He's got more. Oh my gosh.
Oh, he does. There's one more. Yeah.
2 Samuel 22:7-16 KJV. In my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried to my God, and he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter in his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations of heaven moved and shook because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. And he made darkness pavilions round about him, dark waters and thick clouds of the sky. Through the brightness before him were coals of fire kindled. The Lord thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice, and he sent out arrows and scattered them, lightning and discomfited them, and the channels of the sea separated. The foundations of the world were discovered at the rebuking of the Lord, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. I'm not really sure. I mean, that's just a verse from 2 Samuel. I'm not sure what he's trying to say.
I think he's trying to show that there might be a difference between the Lord and the serpent. And I have a theory that they work together. It may be separate entities, but they're working together in some kind of way. So
they're all evil, though. Everything about the Old Testament is all evil. There's not our Father. You don't see our Father in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just finished eating. Oops. Stop. That's my plate. All right. Kelly Gillies 5559 says, thank you for sharing all your research with us. I love your new format with the larger font and full screen. I can see your research, and it is indisputable what you have discovered. Yes, to that I say indubitably.
That's nice. A lot of nice comments this time. Am I doing everything right? I'm not used to getting nice.
Ready to put it up.
I know.
They received it well. Um, David WPG says apparently most Christians believe that Jesus Christ died and was sacrificed for our sins. Is this a false narrative from Satan? On face value, I'm gonna say that. I mean, it could be. There's a lot of deception going on with this, with the whole death or the unalivement. So, but Sally, you said, David, how many times are you going to ask us the same question?
Sorry.
Kitty, come here. If you've been following our channel and you watch your videos, you know about the two Jesuses, and you know that Christ is the grand deception. Yes, the entire world is believing in the Christ. Yes, the entire world believes he was sacrificed for our sins. Yes, this is Satan's grand plan. Our Father came and paid a ransom for us. We can't say for certain whether he died on the cross or not. He said he came and paid a ransom for us. He also said he will lay down his life and he will take it back up again. In my honest opinions, you cannot unalive the Father. The Catholic Church pushes the unalivement of Christ as a sacrifice, as well as modern day Christianity. David said, thank you for a very complete answer to my question. And he also said, yes, I agree. I don't believe a divine spiritual being can be killed. Well, all right. David also came and said, if Jesus Barabbas is both divine and being, both a divine being and made up of spirit and sent directly from heaven, couldn't we conclude he was not in an actual flesh body suit? Sorry for going back to this question, but no answer seems to make any sense to me. Escape Labyrinth said, very good question. Sally said, our Father was 100% divine. He came into our world and appeared as a human. I don't understand why this is so difficult to understand. He is the Father. He can do anything. David says, part of the problem is there are many who say that Jesus had to be 100% human flesh to be a sacrifice for our sins. Would that then be a false teaching? If not, what was the payment Jesus made to buy us back from being trapped in Satan's world? I guess I would say, David, is it okay for us not to know that very last question about exactly how he paid the ransom? And secondly, I think the 100% human flesh thing, like having to be a human flesh to be a sacrifice for our sins, I don't think that's anything of a father anyway.
I don't either.
He didn't say he was a sacrifice. He said he came to pay a ransom. He never said he was a human sacrifice.
And my thing is, even if he was, is that, like, to me, if it doesn't really change anything, what does it change? So, yeah. Because remember, these are beings that's been alive since the beginning. I would hope it's okay for a 30-something-year-old or a 40-something-year-old or 50-something to be tricked by this deity that's been around for thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? Because that's definitely what they've been trying to do. We're just uncovering what we know, So forgive us for not knowing every single thing and all the whys and the whats. David also said, would Jesus Barabbas ever call his heavenly father El? 5 replies here. I don't think so, but El can be just translated as God in English. That was by artists. Y'all know how I feel about it. I don't think he would. I think he always called him father. Yeah. Kelly says, I have heard it said that his name is so holy, not even his angels will speak it. But El is a representative of the Most High and his holy council, Elohim. Ellen said, El, Elohim, Most High are all names representing Yahweh, Satan, Jupiter. Sally also said, and that was at Kelly. And Sally also said at Kelly, holy does not mean what you think it does. It actually means something evil with a crying face. I get the sense that Kelly might know that. And Sally also said to Kelly that Elohim are the fallen. All of the El names are the enemy and part of the 72 fallen. That includes Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, etc. Yeah, I agree with all that. I think what else representing the Most High? Yeah, I don't know if she knows. I thought that she might know. I feel like I've seen her comments before. But yeah, the holy and the L and all that stuff, meaning God slash death. I don't think Jesus would call him that, and I don't really see many examples of him calling his father that. He's speaking directly about his father. You know what I'm saying?
He only used father and Abba, and I think he only used Abba twice. I think all the other times it was always father. The
Yeah.
Elohim are the
Yeah.
fallen. They're the 72. All the El. Unfortunately, a lot of Christians believe that the Elohim are of father, and they're not. They're the fallen. They're part of the 72.
Man, surprisingly, we're already almost done. And Steven, I just noticed you were on here. You guys think we should finish these and then we can focus on Steven?
Yeah,
No,
sounds
I'm just here to let you know that this entity, Jesus, that you're worshiping, said, "Drink my blood and eat my flesh," which is against the Mosaic law.
That was the Christ. That was not our Jesus.
Yeah, we don't worship that one.
We don't
That's
worship that one.
we see that
Oh,
contradiction.
which one do you worship?
We don't
Barabba,
really worship. We follow Jesus Barabba.
Okay. Oh, I've talked to you.
Yeah,
weird
you've
yeah,
been
we
people.
up
spoke to you
before.
before.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
you
you
don't follow the Mosaic law.
no.
So you do worship Jesus.
We worship Jesus. We don't worship. We follow Jesus Barabba. We don't worship anybody.
Yeah, but Jesus, Jesus said, you're free to
Stephen,
eat
we've already
pork.
been through this with you once before. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, what animal lays down with the lamb in the Bible?
Do you have any questions?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my question. What animal
first
lays down
the
with the
wolf.
lamb in the
lion.
Bible?
You
We're
asked
not
that
going there
question.
You asked
again with
that-
this,
asked that
Stephen.
question
We've been
before.
through this before. We're not going to go
Yeah,
down
but
this
I
rabbit.
didn't remember your answer.
The wolf.
Well, go
Yeah.
watch the videos.
Yeah, it was the lion shall lay down with the lamb. But
Did
with
you go watch the
supernatural-
videos like we asked you to last time?
What videos?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The one on Scriptural Truth on her YouTube channel, Scriptural Truth. It'll tell
Yeah.
us. It'll tell you what our views are because you were very confused about what our views are the last time you spoke to us, and we were
Well,
talking.
I'm not confused. I know that you're lawless bacon eaters and that you worship Jesus.
So that's exactly what I mean. You don't know
Do you eat pork?
what we believe, and because to
Do
even
you
call
eat
us
pork?
no, that's the whole point. Oh well, he's gone. I'm sure someone kicked him.
Oh yeah.
Man,
He
that's some
basically,
respect.
yeah,
I'm
he's
not gonna
basically
go there
doing
again. He's doing it on purpose, and I'm not doing
He's
that.
doing It's like he came on our live the second time doing exactly the same thing he did before. It's like go back and watch the other video if you want that.
It's crazy because like you would think that people would come on and just at least be able to have an honest conversation, even if you have different views. Like my goodness, how hard is this?
He can't. He thinks he's righteous, and he thinks he's going to condemn us. And it's
Yeah.
like I feel sorry for him. I wish you'd see the truth.
Too prideful to look and to open his ears.
There's probably one person up here that eats bacon, and this shows that he doesn't know anything about our views. It's crazy.
Stephen, stop requesting to come up. We're not allowing you to come up.
Yeah, sorry, Steve. I know you're horny. I'm gonna have to get a male cat. This is crazy. All right, where are we, Cindy? He said, "Let me out, lawless bacon girl." Oh, Steven. All right, Cindy. Cindy Ane 4812. Hope I'm saying that right. Oh man, this is gonna be hard to read. Okay. Brashi BR equals son in Aramaic. A Aleph Shay equals gift H7862, which is the Shin Yod T equals tall, last sign cross. Brashit is a noun feminine singular. So you see the mother and the son are in the very first word in Genesis 1:1, and that goes with John 1:1. Unless said all of Yahweh and his son, the Christ. And Sally said there is no mother either. Did you want to add anything, artist?
No, that's just. I mean, they're trying to tie Genesis 1, right, with John 1 1.
Well, yeah, he made the connection. Chris, if that is a man,
Yeah.
yeah, Chris.
I don't
Chris
know what.
Musante.
If they
Oh, go
don't
ahead.
see
Sorry.
what we're talking about, I don't know how. I don't know how to explain it. Where he'd understand what we're saying, because I don't think that that's accurate in Genesis 1 1.
Yeah, I have my questions about that, but Chris Musante says there are two fathers and one son, the Son of Man. All of us are sons of man and are like him, but the son has to have a father, and the fruits of the son display, or sorry, a present form of whichever father is being served. Since there are two fathers, but all things serve God, the Son of Man is then either a son of God or a son of perdition. And Sally said, there is one father, his name is Jesus Barabba. There are not two fathers. This is exactly what we teach on this channel. There are two Jesuses, our father, Jesus Barabba, and the deceiver Jesus Christ, who is Yahweh's son, the devil. You know, at first when I was reading this question, I thought that he was just acknowledging there's the evil father, Yahweh, and then there's the good father. And that's what I thought he meant by two fathers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then I read on, I was just like, I'm not sure. But, I mean, I just think Sally cleared it up just in case there's any confusion. The son of Yahweh is definitely the son of perdition. And while Jesus Barabbas would definitely be the son of the Father. I don't like using son of God, but son of the Father for sure. You want to get trapped in room
Sure.
1014?
In the Gnostic text, Christ is a son of the Demiurge, along with, if my memory serves me correctly, Adonai, and about 3 or 4 other children. I think it was either Adonai or El Shaddai, whose home is in gloom and darkness, but I forgot which section of the Bible that was in. I can't address that because I have not read the Gnostic text.
I'm over here reading some of the comments from that I missed. But I think it was either. Yeah, artists liked it. So, but I'm about to say they both remind me of darkness either way. So it doesn't matter to me. Yahweh, El Shaddai, whatever. But what's his? Oh man, I don't know how to say this right. One-edged, man. Doja's wind. I don't know. 2047. I'm trying my best on that one. So glad you are back with these teaching videos. Can't wait for the virgin birth video. In one of your videos, you mentioned that something is off with it. And Sally said, our father told us 38 times he was sent. He was not born of a virgin. That was the Christ. Mary was impregnated by Yahweh and gave birth to Jesus Christ, which is the grand deception. Watch our video, Jesus Christ versus Jesus Barabbas. And SP Praying Mom says, at Sally, yes, I see Jesus as sent. Sent is the important part. I am starting to realize that the redemption payment doesn't specify death. Death just seems to glorify the suffering of this world. You can say that again. Jesus heals and brings us to our true home out of darkness to eternal light of wholeness and wellness where he is. I see suffering as snow, and Jesus is the light and salt helping us while we are here until we are brought home to Jesus. May Jesus Barabbas melt each snow, flurry, blizzard, and storm as they develop, easing each one's suffering until we are bathed in his eternal warmth. in a place he has prepared for us in eternity. I was gonna say, what do you snow? I thought that was a typo, but I kept going. I had faith that you had it all, that you had it down, what you were trying to say, you know. But yeah, I totally agree with that comment, and I give that an indubitably. Seek the Father says, Mary was overshadowed by Yahweh. 29. Mary was greatly troubled at his words and wondered what kind of greeting this might be. But the angel said to her, do not be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God / Yahweh. You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you are to call him Jesus, JC. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High, Son of Yahweh. The Lord God / Baal will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over Jacob's descendants forever. His kingdom will never end. 1. Who has authority on earth and to make kings and give them thrones? Satan. 2. David is not Jesus' father. The Father in heaven is his father. Right? 2 good points. And it says, how will this be? Mary asked the angel, since I am a virgin. The angel answered, the Holy Spirit will come on you, and the power of the Most High, Yahweh, will overshadow you. So the Holy One to be born will be called the Son of God. Even Elizabeth, your relative, is going to have a child in her old age, and she who was said to be unable to conceive is in her 6th month. For no word from God will ever fail. I am the Lord / Baal servant. Mary answered, may your word to me be fulfilled. Then the angel left her. Overshadow, G1982. Ep-e-ski adzo from G1909 and a derivative of G4639. To cast a shade upon, that is by analogy, to envelop in a haze of brilliancy, figuratively to invest with preternatural influence. Overshadow, apparently a primary word, shade or shadow, literally or figuratively, darkness of an error or an adumbration. There is no darkness in Father. Oh man, that's a good point too. The whole
Yep.
overshadow, but there's no darkness in the real Father. Yeah. Thank you, Seek the Father, for your comment.
Yeah, very good one.
And the rest of these are basically me. I just say every time we write love, we're writing Jupiter, just because how Jupiter is spelled with the IOVE, Yo, the Yove thing. And yeah, the way they write the I, it just looks like a lowercase L. So
It
now I'm
does,
like,
doesn't it?
every
It's
time we
wild.
write love, it's like, dang.
I know it. When I saw that, I thought that too. I was like, oh man, he's thinking like me.
And Elizabeth Flowers says it's funny how the music industry has everyone singing to Jupiter. Blues Traveler, love leads you back on the way. You can back on that you can rely. Sorry. Someone had an interesting take on Snoop Dogg's song Gin and Juice. The Gin, DJINN. And well, got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Don't read this out. Oh no, I'm sorry, Elizabeth. She said don't read this out loud. I just thought it was funny. Too late. All right. And then artist, you said it's an I and not an L, but it sure looks like it, and that's yep. But so I comment. I said Yahweh causes blindness and lameness, then reject you for your handicaps, just like He calls men to do evil and then don't forgive their sins. Also, I said they said, "Who are you?" In the video, I should have put a timestamp like everyone else does. And I said, wouldn't they know he's Joseph's and Mary's son if he was the Christ? I guess this when the Pharisees was questioning him, talking to him, who are you to Barabbas? When they're supposed to know him. And artist, you said Jesus Christ was not the real Jesus. That was Barabbas. And I said exactly, they knew who the Christ was. They didn't know who Barabbas was. So, and then my last comment I put in Revelations, Yahweh said the unalivement of his saints is a good sight to him. And then contrast, Jesus wept over Lazarus, and the family that was in pain. So, two huge differences. I don't think Jesus would smile at our unalivement and pain, even if it means we're going home to Him, you know? And Carl Cockwell, final comment. He says, I can be honest with you. I used to really be mad at God for never healing my baby brother who later committed unalivement at 16. He was born with bipolar disorder. That's why I'm like, how is this the same Carl? Like, you got two different personalities over here, Carl. That's why you just sound like you're upset, though, in my opinion. But I'll read this comment by SP Praying Mom commenting to Carl. I won't get into my family story, but I will say I can relate to you. I see suffering as snow, and Jesus Barabbas, Son of the Father, as light, and salt as the melting the snow to help us while we are here until we are finally bathed in His light when we are with Him. I focus on Him and the place He has prepared for us, our eternal true home, where everyone will be whole and well with no misunderstandings in the way or standing in the way. Yep. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's the same Carl again.
That's the same Carl. Unless the numbers are different, we just don't know. But we
Maybe
got
I
two.
missed a comment and he got upset because I didn't reply. I don't know. But
I think he got upset over the father.
yeah, he's probably upset. That's sad.
Just because you get upset doesn't give you the right to attack people and judge people and condemn people and go on a tirade like he did. I'm sorry. There's nothing that makes that okay.
Well, he started focusing on artists past, saying talking about the witchcraft stuff, and it's like, and even people in the comments said, because I kind of went back to look at some of it, and they're like, "Dang, can she not have a past? Like, how did we come out of anything if we weren't in something to begin with? You know?" So it's like, and Carl, come on, how you ask us to pray for you and your son and don't understand those concepts? That's why I'm very confused. You got to start somewhere. And if anybody out there got a male cat that my cat can come and have play dates with,
Oh, you'll have kittens though. You'll have a whole apartment full.
Yeah.
we got to work. We got to work together. You get half of them. I get half of them. You
You
know.
can take your pet to animal control. A lot of times they have free spay clinics.
I know, and I knew I was gonna run into this day because I was trying not to do that to them. You know. But we'll see. If it gets real bad, I might have to.
Yeah, I had a couple of cats, and when I was younger, until I found out I was allergic to them. But it's like they'll drive you crazy. Mine were like that. They'd scream and scream, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah, and this is the one that's really it's my quiet cat too, and like she's getting loud. She's showing me how loud she can be. I'm like, dang, had to get you a boyfriend, right? You need to just practice abstinence, you know? She said she been practicing too long. All right.
Do we have anybody else that wanted to come up, or we kind of finished that kind of early, didn't we? But that's okay.
I thought it was gonna take us all night with the two videos to answer questions on and stuff.
Yeah.
I
I
was
wish
waiting
Steve.
for the guys there that I was texting on or like responding to on Derek Jester stuff, because man, that was a back and forth all the last couple of days with them, but they never show up. So
I
I don't have
spoke with
questions
Derek
because it's
Jester in one of the lives. I remember talking to him.
yeah, he was up a long time ago, yeah,
Yeah.
but it wasn't him. It was another guy in his comment section, and I just kept saying, hey, we're on at like 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Come on up, but they never want to.
Yeah. And when they do come up, don't do a good job of at least having respect while we talk. You know, like Steven there.
He was just going to go back, circle back through the same argument he did before, and I don't see that as productive. You
I
It
know.
was
was
trying to
literally the
and
same. It
tell
was
him that we
exactly
heard
the
it all.
same. It's like he's on
Yeah, I know,
repeat
right?
with the same questions.
He has a script.
Crazy.
He has a piece of paper, and he's going by it, and he's like, "All right, first thing
Yeah,
you
and I
gotta
think
do
he
is
forgot he
being
was with
alive."
us before. you know.
He's
Yeah.
just trolling channels to,
Yeah.
that's all he was
Yeah,
doing.
exactly.
I don't understand that either because it's like I found that so many of these I don't even want to go back in them because I feel like they're just paid people to sit there and try to destroy Jesus. They don't listen, you
They
know.
are. That's they are. That's the sad part.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, who is this Jester guy? Like, did I see some of his comments, or were you talking about you and Sally saw him?
No, no, it's TikTok, and like how you're scrolling around and you see somebody, and of course, for some reason, Derek Jester's stuff always comes up on my feed, and I'll listen to some of his little TikTok things. Not because I believe him, because I think he's paid, but I always feel badly for those people who are being sucked in. So I always go into the comment section and refute what he says, and then there, you get the odd person in there that will defend him like he was God himself,
Oh,
you
I
know.
know.
And yeah, and so I just keep I go, well, I took 2 days with this one guy, but he doesn't get it. They just won't get it, and of course I'm everything under the sun, according to him. I'm a false prophet, and all the different things, but they can't see what they're doing. So, and they won't really have a conversation. They just spiel off the same stuff, and yeah. So anyway, it was just interesting. I was trying to get them to come, and I kept putting in, the live was coming on in 20 minutes. Come up and have ask questions, but they don't want to because they just want to stick to their stuff because that's where they're getting paid to talk about. So they attract the people that are interested in those kinds of things and keep us out, if you know what I mean, because they don't want us to point the truth at them in front of everybody, if that makes sense.
You're
Yeah,
probably
So,
talking to a lot of bots too, because they probably have a lot of
well,
bots in there.
that
You
could
know?
be the truth too, Sally. That could be the truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Faye wants to know, what did you and Jester talk about, artist?
Oh, he was arguing with me that everything was completed in 70 AD and that there couldn't possibly be two different Jesuses, and we got into a bunch of stuff, and it was like I told him, I said, you need to go back and really look at it again. And he had a video out not too long ago about the real Jesus. You you're worshiping the Jesus that was for the Jews, and it's like he kept going back. It's like in his mind he was almost there. It was like I was like, this is wild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So he goes back and forth, like, because
yeah.
today, like you said, it was like there was two Jesuses. Like he was definitely talking about two Jesuses. So but he has some things right, but then I think he flip flops, kind of like what Josh did, back and forth, back and forth. So,
Maybe he'll
but he
see it
does have a lot of
eventually.
followers. Yeah,
He
he has a
does. He
lot
has
of
a
followers. Yeah,
bunch. He even has
yeah,
a YouTube channel too. He's got some
yeah,
longer videos on YouTube.
yeah.
Um, I watched a couple of Nine Nanias. It's like my first time ever being introduced to her stuff, but I heard people talking about it a lot before I ever watched it, and I forgot, what was your opinion on her breakdowns, or basically on her, like, does she believe in two Jesuses? Does anybody know?
Not that I don't think she ever showed that part. She had a lot of stuff she exposed though about Yahweh,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think she ever got to that part. I wish she would come back or whatever. I hope she's okay. I'd
Oh, she
love
used
to.
to be here.
I'd love
Oh,
to
are
talk
you?
to her. I mean, I tried. Well, I talked to her way back, and it's like I hadn't seen about Yahweh yet, and she was trying to talk to me about it in chat, and it was like I kind of got like I kept arguing with her because I kept throwing things back at her and she would throw something back at me. And I remembered what all she said though when I started seeing this, and I was like, dang, I wish I could go back and talk to her now, you know?
I'm about to
But
say because she's seen like in alignment, even though she didn't speak on two Jesuses yet. It's like she know Yahweh is the double, and the way she breaks things down reminds me of you, but like breaking down each word, you know.
yeah, she does a good job on that part, really good. And if I just wasn't ready for her material when I saw it the first time. And then when I went back after I realized that I was wrong and I went back to talk to her and it was like she was nowhere to be found. It's like she just disappeared. Clay and I both looked for her. We even tried emailing and everything. Couldn't find her.
Dang, ain't that how it be? When you go looking for something, you can't find it, you know.
And she had gotten so bashed on YouTube that she had turned comments off too.
Yeah, that sucks.
We know that she was in New York and she was in a bad section of the town. And when COVID hit, and during COVID's when she disappeared, and we haven't heard from her since.
Do you know where she lived? Like what state she was in?
She was in New York City,
Oh.
and she was in a rough area, and she was older. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm hoping she didn't get sick and end up in the hospital.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh wait, Faye said, but she doesn't know about two Jesuses. Oh, okay, but she's talking about Anna Grace, someone else. So she knows about Yahweh though. Some people are close, but when you said that guy said he said there's no way it could be two Jesuses, and then he went and said made a video talking about who's the real Jesus. You already admitting there's two then.
I know. It's like he was going back and forth in his mind when he was talking on that clip, and I was like, this is wild.
I don't get how you can learn about Yahweh and know who he is and his character and everything, and then come into the New Testament and not be able to see the two Jesuses. Kind of like, Bobby Collier. He knows Yahweh. He breaks that down really good. But you get into the New Testament, and man, he's lost. I don't understand where does that disconnect come in?
I think it's because they got to our minds first. With the whole, with justifying Yahweh first. So then we go into the New Testament already justifying. We're already ready, to justify everything that's bad that comes from the quote unquote good guy of the story. You know what I'm saying? So, but I know what you mean though. Like, especially if you really mean after you really see the difference between the Father and Yahweh, yeah.
Yeah. How can you not see that there are two Jesuses? If you've studied enough on the Bible to realize and know that Yahweh is the devil, how do you get into the New Testament and not see the differences in character of the two Jesuses? I don't, I can't watch Bobby Collier anymore. I just can't, because he's partial truth, and so like, are you compromised? I don't know. I just don't, again, I don't want to chew the meat and spit out the bones. I just want meat. So I'm just not.
Yeah, like how does he see all the stuff that he saw about Yahweh and then go backwards?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I struggle with that too.
Yeah, because he promotes. Bobby Collier talks about and promotes the Christ. So
Really? So, like, how far back do they go? Like, did they go from saying Yahweh is the devil to going back to saying, "Oh no, I worship Yahweh"? Like, is that bad? Like that? Because that's terrible
yeah,
to see
When I watch his videos, he thinks that they're both fathers are in the Old Testament, and he tries to
yeah, that
he
too.
tries to pick it apart and show where they're both at, and it's like it doesn't work to me.
He's like, yeah, you got to rightly divide, and so yeah, that's true too. I forgot about that. I haven't watched him in probably a year.
Sorry, my bad. But no, I was just saying the two Jesus is super clear. You got Paul saying anyone that teach a different Jesus, that's two Jesuses right there. You got Pilate saying you want the Jesus called the Christ or the Jesus called Barabbas, and you can like go back and actually see that. And then you can just Google Jesus, the first name of Barabbas. Like what was his first name? And it says Jesus Barabbas right there. So it's like that's undeniable. You know, there's so many, and then Jesus himself given all the examples, one that speaks of earthly things, all of that stuff. That's crazy to me. But the two fathers thing, if you're looking in the Old Testament and trying to find two fathers character in there, I don't see it. To me, it's like a hypocrite the whole time inside of the Old Testament.
Yeah, Tracy said the Old Testament is just to justify the JC character. 100%.
Yeah.
Yep. They set it up pretty good, didn't they?
Oh yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if we don't have anybody else to come up and we've covered all this, we'll call it for tonight. I mean, we had a good live though. I think we had a lot of good comments.
Yeah. Jen said, "I feel like Google wouldn't give up their info so freely." I wouldn't count that last point. I feel like because Google, they take things down. At first, you was able to easily see that God meant death, but then it's gone. After a few years, I'm talking about it to people, and I'm like, "Go Google it right now. You can see it." And then they go Google it, and they're like, "Where is it?" And I started looking
They're
through it.
removing stuff is what they're doing.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So the truth is there. It's just that every time they see another avenue of truth that's being taken, they start closing those avenues. I feel like, and
That's why
forcing
I
people to
started
go.
doing so many screenshots. It's like just to have the proof to sitting there.
Yeah.
Smart, but you know what they're doing with this. I told you the last time what they're doing with screenshots. So you have all these screenshots on your computer, but then they change the program somehow. So when you try to open them, there's nothing there. It's just a black screen. It's happened to me
Yeah.
more. Like people say it all the time. So I think they'll just wipe them out anyway.
Yeah. You need
The,
hard
the only
copies,
way you can do it right is to print it off, and even that's not safe
and then you have to
because
see the
water
person.
damage, whatever. We have to get it into our heads so that we can speak it. Is what we have to do.
I saw a
And
post on
that's
Facebook today that Mark Zuckerberg said, "Do not take screenshots on your phone." I didn't even read the whole thing, but it was, it's like that.
Don't have proof, basically. Don't have evidence. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like, that's coming from Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook. You're not, don't be taking screenshots on your phone. So they don't want us documenting or having anything.
it's part of their
Yeah.
plan. Like they even tell you that eventually all this knowledge is going to disappear. You'll have the knowledge for a while. I don't remember the exact scripture, but I know that it says something about you'll have this knowledge for a while, but then it'll disappear.
Yeah.
Somewhere it says something like that. Can't remember where.
Yeah. That's why I was saying,
So
like, the whole plan to divide us, because you need a hard physical copies, right? And if let's say
yeah,
you do have it, now you got to go show it to them. Because if you give them a picture, oh, it could be photoshopped, or it could get photoshopped without your permission. Whatever. Like once you put it in the metaverse, I feel like they can manipulate.
Yep.
But if so that's what their whole goal: divide us up. So now we can't even if we have the physical copies, we can't even go and put it before their eyes. So and then you said we can have
that
it in our
makes sense.
minds. That's
Yeah,
the safest place to have it, and it is for us, but not
yeah,
for because it's in our minds now, and we're trying to show people, and we're successful with some, but we fail with most. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
right.
So because they just don't believe us, they think it's just our feelings. But yeah, I guess you're right though. If no one wants to come up, I really wanted to get Steven. I was really trying to jump ahead of him and let him know we know exactly what you're gonna say. You're running the same thing. Let's have a real talk today. But dang it, I
He's
hate
not
when
going
we
to
lose.
listen. He's not going to shut up long enough to hear anything that we say.
And
It's
I
like as
was
soon as
just
we
going
get
to
him on the
say
hook,
he's
they
not going
start
to go back and
wiggling and
watch the
flopping around.
videos because we told him to do that the last time and he didn't. He was like, "What videos?" So he's not even going to do that. So
Yeah, to have a good conversation, both parties must listen. At
Yeah,
I'm
least answer.
they don't understand that we don't argue. We don't sit here and argue with people.
Exactly.
Right.
Faye wants to know. Faye has a question. Please explain about how the Old Testament was to explain JC.
Yeah, Tracy had said Yahweh was in the Old Testament, was a setup for JC because they're the same character.
Either that or working together some kind of way. But the setup, yeah, Yahweh to set up JC.
Well, guys, I guess we'll call it for tonight, and I hope everybody has a good evening. I love you guys.
Love you too.
Y'all get some
Love you guys
rest.
too. Have a good
And
evening. I'll talk to you later.
I'm trying to think
Oh,
though before we go when we're gonna be back on. What is today?
Sunday.
Today's Sunday.
Sunday. I don't have anything prepared for tomorrow, so let's try for Wednesday. How about that?
Sounds good.
Yep.
I was gonna say I guess we should study the Mark 8:31 question and the Luke 9:18 question that they brought up. And remember, we said we had to do some looking into it. I still have it written down in my little book here. So just to let them know, don't give up hope. Just give us some more time.
Alrighty. Well, we'll look forward to Wednesday then.
All
Love
right.
everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Night.
Love you guys.
Shoot.